job is to maximize the value of your case. One call, that's all.
Call 1-800-CALL-KEN. That's 1-800-CALL-KEN.
Come on in to Davis Appliance and Furniture, where you can find the best deals in town. It's tax time, so when that refund comes in, it's the perfect time to get the furniture you've always wanted. For the brands you trust at the lowest prices, visit us at Davis Appliance and Furniture.
Let's rock! Oh, yeah! And roll! Leap ram! Leap.
From the station that's on your side, News 12, first at 5, continues.
Live at 5, we are celebrating Black History in Augusta.
But first, live at 5 today, thousands who've been following his trial, and they've been waiting for this day. Alec Murdaugh on the stand right now. Let's listen in for a moment.
I remember a lot of them.
Okay. All right, you just testified you remember a lot of them. I've been asking you now for the past 10 minutes to tell me about one of them where it's stuck in your heart.
There are a lot of
Stuck in your brain.
There are a lot of conversations I had where I misled my clients and I stole their money, where they trusted me, and I remember them.
Okay. So
But you keep-
again, can you tell me one? Tell me how it went down, what you said, how you convinced them, how you looked them in the eye, how you made them believe, how you used your skills as a trial lawyer to convince them. Can you just tell me about one of those? What was going through your head when you did it?
Your Honor, objection under Rule 403. We've been going over and over and over this.
Objection is overruled.
All right. What's your question, Mr. Waters?
Can you tell me about one of the conversations you had with all of these people? Just one.
I can
where
tell you
what was going through your head and how it went down when you sat there and looked them in the eye and convinced them that you were doing them right while you were lying to them and stealing their money.
Yes, sir. I had a lot of conversations with a lot of my clients that I cared about. And so I will tell you that I had conversations with them where I misled them and I lied to them and I took their money. And that was a number of times.
Okay.
But you're asking me,
Just one specific one, Mr. Murdaugh?
every single one of these clients I would have had conversations with at some
It's
point.
fine, it's
But
fine.
this particular, like Mr. Waters, that disbursement sheet, there was never a sit down with Miss Mallory about the dispersing the money.
You don't recall talking to her about the status of her case and telling her lies and convincing her that you were on her side. You don't remember that.
No, I definitely remember that, but that's not what you
Tell me
asked
about
me. I had numerous conversations with Miss Mallory, about this case. But the fact is you were asking me about me sitting down with this disbursement sheet, looking her in the eye and convincing her. And I'm telling you that didn't happen in this case. Now, I had a lot of conversations with her where I misled her, Mr. Waters, where I lied to her
Tell me about one. Tell me how it went down.
where
We're going to recess for today and resume at 9:30. Tomorrow morning, everyone remains seated while the jury leaves.
We have just heard testimony from Alec Murdaugh where under oath he admitted to financial crimes. You heard it here live where he admitted to deceiving his clients and taking money from them. Of course, this is not the trial for those financial crimes. The disgraced former South Carolina attorney is actually on trial for the murder and the deaths of his wife and son. This was a shock to some today by testifying in his own defense. This was actually something his own lawyers advised against.
And we've been hearing for several weeks now whether Murdaugh was even going to take the stand, obviously shocking many people when he did take the stand today. And Murdaugh has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of murder and 2 weapons charges in the June 2021 killings. And even if the jury finds Alec Murdaugh not guilty of those murders of Maggie and Paul, he's still facing the possibility of decades in prison if convicted of most or all of those financial charges and crimes, which you just heard him admit to live.
Right, but he's denied for so long. So all of this, a shocking day in court, and as you heard the judge say, it will continue tomorrow at 9:30, and you can watch it live on our app. You can bet that all of us here will be following that trial as well.
Turning to weather now, we're taking a live look outside over Walton Way. It's about 10 minutes.
All right, thank you, Riley. Live at 5, we're celebrating Black History in Augusta. Today, the city is celebrating local contributions that have made Augusta the city that it is today.
Our Hallie Turner stopped by the McDuffie Woods Community Center to see what the event was all about.
Singing, dancing, enjoying food, and remembering local African Americans who helped pave the way for change in Augusta is what community members say today's Black History celebration is all about. Today is the first time since COVID that more than 100 seniors from H.H. Brigham and McDuffie Woods gather together to remember and celebrate how far they've come. Reverend Anthony Booker says events like this take people back and set their sights on who they are and what they still have to accomplish.
It's who I am. And I think it's incumbent upon every person not to just read the history and just know the history, but find your place in the history. And so at some point in life, somebody will look back and say that you accomplished something. You had an impact upon your community, upon society.
Coming up all new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we speak with one woman who says today took her back to the connection she made with one local Augusta man who made a difference not only in Black history, but in her life.
In the last 30 minutes, Mayor Garnett Johnson addressed talks to change the city charter to give him an equal vote on the Augusta Commission. He also took time to say that you at home, Augusta voters, you will have an option to vote on this or not.
Today marks 3 years since Ahmaud Arbery was murdered while out on a run in Glynn County. Last year, the Georgia legislature signed a resolution to make every February 23rd officially Ahmaud Arbery Day. The 3 men have already been convicted and sentenced to life in prison for the state's murder case and the federal hate crimes case, yet Ahmaud's family says that they're still trying to get justice. They are still waiting for the former Brunswick District Attorney Jackie Johnson to be in court on charges of hindering the police investigation into his murder. Johnson was scheduled to be in court back in December. That hearing was delayed, and the Attorney General's office says there has not been a new date set here.
It ain't gonna help us now, but we want to know that people can own up to what they're doing right in our law enforcement system. Stuff like this can't keep happening. If you did it this time, we'll just say you're not gonna do it again, and how many times you did it before, Ahmaud.
Jackie Johnson has denied any wrongdoing in the handling of Ahmaud's case, but Ahmaud's family says that they are a family of fighters and will not stop fighting until 100% justice.
We are still exploring the life of President Jimmy Carter. Did you know one of his missions was to eradicate the guinea worm? Back in 1986, the disease afflicted 3.5 million people a year in Africa and Asia. It has been reduced to 13 cases just as of last year.
And our State House reporter Abby Kasoris sat down with a doctor with the Carter Center to learn more about their efforts.
A worm this long causing a burning sensation under your skin. After decades of work here at the Carter Center, the World Health Organization expects that guinea worm will be the first disease eradicated without medicine or a vaccine. You can hear it in this little girl's scream.
And obviously, the personal pain is terrible.
This is video of former President Jimmy Carter's trip to Ghana in 2008. He's kneeling and his wife Rosalind is consoling patients.
Everything they've ever done has always been about people.
Adam Weiss, director of the guinea worm eradication program, remembers the trip to the village of 2,000 people.
And they didn't go for a photo op, but they really went to listen.
Guinea worms can spread through contaminated water or uncooked fish. After about a year, when a female worm is fully grown, it emerges from the skin, releasing more larvae, which can continue the cycle.
I think one of the unique things that he saw before anybody ever talked about it was that synergy between peace and health.
Those kinds of people living in a remote village, absolutely poverty-stricken and afflicted with preventable disease, are just as intelligent as I am and just as hardworking as I am.
Tools like this wearable, cost-effective water filter transforming the way that villages drink water to this day. Carter has famously said he wants to see the eradication of guinea worm during his lifetime.
Not because of his legacy and that it would be attached to his leadership and vision, but rather because of the people that were suffering from the disease.
The World Health Organization is expecting the eradication of guinea worm by the end of the decade. There are still 13 cases spread across 4 countries in Africa. In Atlanta, I'm Abby Casores.
Thanks, Abby. The city of Aiken is looking for feedback when it comes to rezoning city council districts. The districts are redrawn after every census count in order to keep up with population changes. Families can weigh in on a meeting tonight at 6 o'clock. If you can't make it, the city is accepting feedback online through March 8th. Just head to the City of Aiken's website.
What's that in the sky? Next, live at 5, we explain why you are seeing more planets in the night sky. Riley?
We've had some great views of them the past couple of nights. A few more clouds, though, heading into this evening. We'll talk about the chance for rain moving in tomorrow, just after the break.
Whether you're on the way to work or bringing your kids to school, you may run across a few potholes along the way. All new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we're taking a look at what the city is doing to fill those potholes.
Time and by next Monday, and then another front pushes through Monday night that could bring us a few showers.
All right, thanks for that, Riley. Take a look at these viewer photos. Those huge orbs of light are not UFOs or even stars. They are planets in our solar system. First Alert meteorologist Anthony Carpino is in the studio to tell us what will be visible tonight. Anthony.
Yeah, guys, we are going to have another opportunity to see both the moon as well as some of the planets later on this evening. The big question, though, is going to be that cloud cover. It's going to get cloudier and cloudier as we go through this evening, but over the last couple of days, we've gotten some incredible photos. This is from Kayla, and we've seen just an absolutely gorgeous view there. You can see the moon just about there on your screen with some of the planets also right nearby. We had both Venus and Jupiter pretty close to the moon yesterday, and this has kind of came into alignment over the last couple of days. Erica Johnson sent us this picture. You can see the moon there very bright in the middle of your screen. Venus is the dot there that's closer to the bottom of the picture with Jupiter right next to it. So we had a couple incredible views over the last few days, and tonight, if we can get some of those clouds to hold off right after sunset, we should have another pretty cool view. Let's go through this evening. Augusta looking toward the western sky. We will have Venus, Jupiter, and the moon all lined up again this evening. Again, the question is going to be some of those clouds, but in addition to these two planets and the moon, we'll keep looking higher up into the sky. We're actually going to have the possibility of seeing Mars out there this evening as well. Of course, it is going to come down to the cloud cover, so make sure you go ahead and download our First Alert weather app. You can scan this QR code right now. It'll take you right to our app, and you can see more topics about the forecast, the hour-by-hour forecast. That is going to be coming in pretty good handy, especially with that cloud cover. So if you haven't already, make sure you take a picture or scan the app right now so you can have that right on your phone. Guys, back over to you.
All right, thanks, Anthony. The North Augusta girls basketball, they're no strangers to the state Final Four. We'll hear from a couple of the Lady Jackets ahead of tomorrow night's game. That's next in sports.
Thanks for watching News 12 on your side.
Let's rock!
Visiting professor is trying to raise $6 million for the HBCU. CeeLo Green took to Facebook to post for the cause, saying whether or not Payne is your HBCU, it's our HBCU, and we must do what we can to preserve Payne for another 141 years.
The definition of the word excellence is the quality of being outstanding or extremely good. Over the past several seasons, the North Augusta girls basketball team has been that and more. With Tuesday night's road victory in the third round of the playoffs against Pickens, the Lady Jackets punched their ticket to the South Carolina Class 4A Upper State Championship game. This is the 7th time in the last 8 seasons that North Augusta has made it to at least the state semifinals. And even though they have a lot of young players, this team is not scared of the spotlight, and they're ready to put their stamp on this program's winning legacy.
You can't just let the pressure get to your head. You have to just stay calm and stay collected and keep it cool while the game's going. That's what I try to teach the youngest players as well.
It means a lot to me because it makes me want to work harder and be able to have my picture up on the wall. And it just lets me know that it can be done and I can do it.
The state semifinal showdown between North Augusta and Wade Hampton will take place tomorrow at 5:30 at Bob Jones University in Greenville. That's it for sports. We'll have more news and another look at your forecast after the break.
Let's rock and roll. Chargers and Challengers available now. A President's Day sales event at Milton Ruben Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Well, now you don't see this every day. That giant pink inflatable thing, I guess you want to call it, is a colon. Today, anyone at Doctors Hospital had the chance to crawl through a colon to learn more about preventing colon cancer. As you can see, they had very descriptive forms of stomach issues people run into, like Crohn's, ulcers, and cancer there. So very informative.
Yeah. How cool is that, though?
Pretty cool.
I mean,
be able to walk through it and see it's like the, I described it as like the magic school bus or something like that. You get to go through and learn. All the kids are on a school bus, and you go through and you learn about
it sure beats the prep before a colonoscopy. You know?
Yeah.
You don't have to drink all that stuff. You can just walk through it and look at it.
It's a weather now.
It's a weather now.
Take it away, Riley. There you go. Have fun.
Hey, it's very nice sunset out there for us. We got a few passing clouds, and unfortunately a few more clouds in the past couple of evenings, so we may not be able to get those good views of the planets we were mentioning, as First Alert meteorologist Anthony Carpino was just talking about with Jupiter, Venus, and the moon, but nice night nonetheless. Our temperatures will stay much warmer than average as we continue into tonight. We're only going to see our low temps bottom out into the 60s by tomorrow morning, staying mostly dry until we get to tomorrow. Watch out for a few showers showing up late into the day Friday and lingering into our Saturday.
All right, thanks, Riley. If you feel so inclined to stick with News 12 after that, we'll have much more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short